Welcome to the Bootstrap Mogul Podcast, where we bring you the grassroots tips, tricks, and stories in everything entrepreneurship, digital marketing, and personal development. I'm your host, Andres Holguin. Hello there, you go-getters and dream chasers. I'm your host, Andres Holguin, and I'd like to welcome you all to another exciting episode of the Bootstrap Mogul Podcast. Now, whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting your journey into the business world, this podcast is a place where we share knowledge, experience, and practical tips to help you navigate the thrilling yet often challenging world of entrepreneurship. And so we believe that every entrepreneur, no matter how large or small their venture, has an incredible story of determination, courage, and resilience. And we're here to explore those stories, learn from each other, and remind ourselves that we're not alone on this journey. So now we've got a super exciting topic to delve in today, which is overcoming obstacles, turning challenges into opportunities. And I know what you're thinking. Obstacles? Who needs them? Well, let me tell you, my friends, no one has ever scaled the heights of success without first climbing a few mountains. And those mountains, those are our obstacles, the challenges we face on our entrepreneurial journey. Each of us faces different challenges, and for some, it might be funding. For others, it could be finding the right team or balancing entrepreneurship with personal life. But here's the thing. These challenges, these obstacles, they're not just roadblocks. No, they are opportunities. Opportunities for growth, for learning, and for innovation. So, today we're going to dive deep into this subject. We'll talk about why obstacles aren't the terrifying monsters we often make them out to be, and we'll discuss how we can change our mindset to see challenges as opportunities rather than hindrances. And we'll hear some inspiring stories about entrepreneurs who've overcome incredible obstacles and turned them into stepping stones to success. Sound good? Excellent. So let's get started. Now, before we dig deep into this discussion about overcoming obstacles and transforming them into opportunities, let's paint a bit of a picture here. I think we can all agree that no matter what stage of the entrepreneurial journey you're on, you're going to face obstacles. It's just a fact of life, right? Obstacles are not only prevalent, but inevitable in our journeys. Whether we're just launching our side hustle or running a well-established enterprise, we're always going to encounter challenges. Now, there's this misperception that successful entrepreneurs have it easy, but trust me, my friend, they've had their fair share of challenges. In fact, you might say that the challenges that they've overcome have played a significant part in shaping their success. Now, I know that's a bold statement, but stick with me here. To illustrate this point, let me share a little story from my own journey. You see, when I was first starting out, I had this brilliant idea for a business, but there was one huge obstacle: funding. It was like this giant wall standing between me and my dream. And I was researching like traditional routes, banks, investors, but they just weren't the right fit for me. And it was frustrating and honestly quite a disheartening time. But instead of letting it crush my spirit, I decided to look at it from a different perspective. I realized that this obstacle was pushing me to think creatively, to be innovative, and to find alternative routes. So I began researching and discovered the concept of bootstrapping, a term many of us are all familiar with, which is starting a business with minimal resources or financial help. So I decided to give it a shot. I tightened my belt, made a few sacrifices, and started building my business one brick at a time. Now, fast forward to today, and I can honestly say that initial funding obstacle, though it seemed insurmountable at the time, was a blessing in disguise, because it forced me to be resourceful, creative, and tenacious, qualities that have become the bedrock of my entrepreneurial journey. Now, the point here isn't about me, it's about you. Because the obstacles you're facing right now might seem daunting. But remember, they're not just barriers, they're catalysts pushing you to grow, evolve, and transform your dreams into reality. So let's explore this more, shall we? All right, so let's dive into this topic and concept of understanding challenges. When we say obstacle, what do we mean? Simply put, an obstacle is just something that obstructs or hinders progress. It's that boulder in the middle of your path, that steep hill you have to climb, or that wide river you have to cross. And when we encounter these obstacles, it's not just a physical barrier we're facing, there's a mental and emotional side to it too. You know what I'm talking about, right? That feeling of overwhelm, the sense of failure, the nagging fear that you might not overcome it. Obstacles can lead to stress, anxiety, self-doubt, and even burnout if not managed well. But here's where it gets interesting. You see, the way we perceive these obstacles can drastically change the outcome. If we view them as dead ends, that's precisely what they'll become. But if we see them as challenges to overcome, as opportunities to learn and grow, well, they become less daunting and more exciting. The great inventor Thomas Edison once said, "I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Now that's the kind of mindset we're talking about. A challenge isn't a sign that you should quit, but a sign that you need to approach the problem differently, innovate, and adapt. And speaking of adaptability, let's talk about its role in overcoming obstacles. As entrepreneurs, we need to be flexible. We need to be able to adjust our sails when the wind changes direction. And it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving amidst challenges. And this is where resilience comes in. So resilience, my friends, is the backbone of entrepreneurship. It's the grit that keeps us going when times get tough. Resilience isn't about avoiding obstacles or wishing they disappear. Instead, it's about meeting those obstacles head on, knowing that they're a part of the journey and having the conviction that you'll overcome them. When we blend adaptability with resilience, we create a powerful mix that not only helps us conquer challenges, but allows us to grow from them. And isn't that what entrepreneurship is all about? Growth, personal growth, professional growth, and the growth of our ventures. So think about an obstacle that you're facing right now. How can you perceive it differently? What opportunities might it be presenting you? And how can you use your resilience and adaptability to turn this challenge into a stepping stone to success? Now, I encourage you to really ponder on these questions as we continue this discussion. Remember, each challenge we face is an opportunity for us to learn, to grow, and to come out stronger on the other side. And as we continue, I'll be sharing some real life stories of entrepreneurs who have done just that. But first, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll explore these inspiring examples and look into some practical strategies you can use to transform your obstacles into opportunities. Stay tuned. Welcome back, folks. As promised, let's dive into some real life stories of entrepreneurs who've turned obstacles into opportunities. Now, each of these stories is unique, but they have all shared a common thread: resilience, adaptability, and the unshaken belief that every obstacle is a stepping stone to success. So let's kick off with our first story. Have you ever heard of a little company called Airbnb? You probably have. But did you know that its co-founders Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia were struggling to pay their rent when they came up with the concept? And when a design conference came to town and all the hotels were booked, they saw an opportunity. They rented out air mattresses in their living room and provided breakfast. That simple act of turning their living room into a bed and breakfast to make ends meet was the seed that grew into the global phenomenon that Airbnb is today. Our second story is about Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn. Before starting LinkedIn, Hoffman launched a social networking site called SocialNet. It was arguably ahead of its time, and sadly, it didn't quite take off. Now, many would view this as a failure, but not Hoffman. He took his learnings from SocialNet and he recognized the growing need for a professional networking platform and applied his experience to create LinkedIn. Today, LinkedIn is the world's largest professional networking platform, a testament to Hoffman's resilience and ability to learn from his obstacles. For our third story, let's talk about one of my favorite founders, Sarah Blakely, who founded Spanx. Before Spanx, Blakely was selling fax machines door to door. She had the idea for Spanx when she was getting ready for a party and didn't have the right undergarment for her white pants. Without any background in fashion or business, she used her savings to create the prototype. After lots of rejections and perseverance, Spanx was eventually picked up by Neiman Marcus, and the rest, as they say, is history. Our fourth story centers around Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. His story is one of relentless persistence. Ma faced numerous rejections in his early career. He was even turned down for a job at KFC. When he first introduced the concept of an online marketplace for business, it was met with skepticism. Now, despite these obstacles, Ma didn't give up. He believed in the potential of e-commerce and his ability to make a difference. Today, Alibaba is a global e-commerce giant, and Jack Ma's story serves as an inspiration for entrepreneurs worldwide. Finally, let's look at the story of Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks. Now, Schultz didn't start Starbucks, but he is credited with turning it into the coffee powerhouse it is today. But his journey was not smooth. When he first proposed the idea of selling brewed coffee in the stores, the original owners of Starbucks resisted. Schultz, believing in his vision, decided to leave the company and start his own coffee house. His venture was successful, and he eventually bought Starbucks and transformed it into the global brand we know. Now, each of these stories shows how obstacles can be turned into opportunities with the right mindset and determination. The road to entrepreneurship is paved with challenges, but as these entrepreneurs have shown, those challenges can be the springboard to unimaginable success. With that said, it's time to take another short break, and when we return, we'll discuss some practical strategies that can help you turn your obstacles into opportunities. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss it. Welcome back, friends. I hope those inspiring stories have sparked some motivation in you. Now that we've seen how others have turned obstacles into opportunities, let's talk about some strategies that you can use to do the same. The first strategy is all about your mindset. Remember what we discussed earlier? Perception is key. View your obstacles not as dead ends, but as detours to a better route. This mindset shift, though it might seem small, can make a significant impact on how you handle challenges. Embracing a growth mindset, believing that you can learn, adapt, and improve, is crucial. It helps you approach obstacles with the belief that you have the potential to overcome them and even learn from them. So the next time you face a challenge, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is not a roadblock, it's a learning opportunity. That brings us to our next strategy, which is embracing failure as a learning opportunity. It's not pleasant to fail, I get it. But as we've seen in the stories earlier, even successful entrepreneurs have faced failures. The difference is that they didn't let failure stop them. Instead, they took it as a chance to learn, to improve, and to try again. Failure is not the opposite of success. Let me say that again. Failure is not the opposite of success, but a part of the journey towards it. So the next time you stumble, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, analyze what went wrong, and use that knowledge to move forward. The third strategy is all about problem-solving skills and creativity. Challenges are essentially problems waiting to be solved, and creativity is your tool to find innovative solutions. So start by defining the challenge clearly, then brainstorm possible solutions. Don't limit yourself. Be open to out-of-the-box ideas. Remember, it's about finding new paths, not just following the existing ones. Finally, it's crucial to building a supportive network. Entrepreneurship, it can feel lonely, especially when facing challenges. But remember, you're not alone. Reach out to fellow entrepreneurs, join networking groups, seek mentorship. Not only can they offer valuable advice and perspective, but knowing that others have faced and overcome similar challenges can provide much needed encouragement and motivation. Now, these strategies aren't one size fits all, but they provide a starting point. Everyone's entrepreneurial journey is unique, and the way we navigate challenges will be different too. Now, before we wrap up, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll summarize what we've learned today, and I'll share a final thought to help you start seeing your challenges as opportunities. Stay tuned. All right, friends, welcome back to the Bootstrap Mogul podcast. It's time for us to start wrapping things up, but before we do, let's take a moment to recap the valuable insights we've shared today. And we began by recognizing that obstacles are not exceptions, but an inevitable part of our entrepreneurial journey. We discussed how our perception of these obstacles significantly impacts our ability to overcome them. We highlighted the importance of resilience and adaptability and how these traits can transform challenges into opportunities. We also delved into some inspiring stories of entrepreneurs like Brian Chesky, Reid Hoffman, Sarah Blakely, Jack Ma, and Howard Schultz, who turned obstacles into stepping stones for success. In their stories, they remind us that with the right mindset, determination, and a dash of creativity, we can navigate any challenge that comes our way. We discussed strategies for overcoming obstacles, including the importance of a mindset shift, embracing failure as a learning opportunity, honing problem-solving skills and creativity, and the value of building a supportive network. Overcoming obstacles isn't about avoiding them or wishing they didn't exist. It's about facing them head on, learning from them, and leveraging them to grow and improve. So the next time you face a challenge, remember, it's not a roadblock. It's a stepping stone to your next success. And I want to encourage you listeners to share your own stories of overcoming obstacles. What challenges have you turned into opportunities? Because your experiences could inspire and encourage others who might be going through similar situations. You can share your stories with us on our social media accounts at Andres Does Business, or send us an email at info@flyroutedigital.com. We might even feature some of your stories in future episodes. Remember, we're all in this together, so let's continue to learn, grow, and support each other on this entrepreneurial journey. Now, before we officially sign off, let's take a quick peek at what we have in store for you in our next episode. We've been talking about challenges and overcoming obstacles today, and next time, we'll be diving into a closely related topic: risk-taking in entrepreneurship. Yes, we're going to explore the world of risks, the role they play in business, and how to effectively manage them. I'm sure you've heard the saying, no risk, no reward. But how do you know what risks to take and when? And most importantly, how can you prepare yourself to handle the outcomes, whether they're good or bad? We'll explore all of these and more in our next episode. Do you have any specific questions or topics that you'd like me to cover about risk taking? Maybe you have a personal story about taking a risk in your business that you'd like to share. If so, I'd love to hear from you. You can send your questions, feedback, and stories to our email at info@flyroutedigital.com or share them with us on our social media pages, which is Andres Does Business. I truly value your input, and it's always so wonderful to incorporate your experiences and questions into our discussions. Well, friends, we're at the end of our time together today, and what a journey it's been. We've navigated the landscape of obstacles and opportunities, and I hope you're leaving this episode feeling inspired and equipped to handle whatever challenges your entrepreneurial journey throws at you. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the Bootstrap Mogul podcast. Your time and attention mean the world to me, and I genuinely appreciate your support. If you haven't done so already, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to the podcast. It's an easy way to ensure that you won't miss any future episodes. And while you're at it, if you could leave a rating and review, I'd greatly appreciate it. Because your feedback not only helps me to improve the show, but it also helps other bootstrapping entrepreneurs find this resource. Well, I'm Andres Holguin, and it's been an absolute pleasure being your host today. Remember, it's not about the obstacles we face, but how we overcome them that truly defines our journey. Let's continue to learn, grow, and inspire each other. So until next time, keep pushing, keep striving, and remember, every challenge is just a stepping stone on the path to success. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, stay resilient, and happy bootstrapping.